Bill Gates is notorious for a quote where he says something along the lines of, I'm going to find a lazy person to do a hard job because they'll be able to do it in the quickest way possible. And a lot of times this is the best way to think through the best opportunity or what you're going to be doing is by thinking about it in the easiest way possible. You see, my thesis for wealth building and for business has been, I want to do the thing that requires the least amount of work for me, that gets the customer or the client the most amount of value. You see, everyone really believes that building wealth or making money has to be super hard. But a lot of the most successful people that I've ever met have figured out ways to make money with very low input. Warren Buffett also said once, if you don't figure out a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work till you die. And so Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, two of the most successful people ever, are pretty in sync on this idea. And I think this is the question that you should ask yourself. We're going into 2025. A lot of people are looking at online businesses or making resolutions for this amount of money I want to make, or I want to build wealth. And this is the way that I've always thought through things. And it's the way that all of my really rich friends think through things as well. Because really what you're trying to build are the three freedoms. You've probably heard of the three freedoms a million times. If you haven't, they're financial, time, location. But you don't get those three freedoms without building leverage. Now, my idea of leverage, this isn't the exact definition. Leverage in a business context is built when the level of inputs are not equal to the level of outputs. And so if you look at all the greatest entrepreneurs in history, Jeff Bezos, it's impossible for his inputs to be equal to the outputs of Amazon. He's built something where his outputs grossly, drastically outweigh the inputs that he puts in. One person can't make trillions of dollars, or however much Amazon's made at this point. And so this is why people are looking at all these online business models, and I just think they're flawed in nature. You know, I've had high ticket closers that have worked at my companies before. I've had high ticket closers that I was paying anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000 a month. And I can tell you that they worked very hard for that $15,000 to $20,000 per month that they made. Their inputs were directly correlated to their outputs. And the thing with being a high ticket closer, or I'll give some more examples in just a minute, you can't leverage yourself. You know, you might be able to go on vacation, but if you go on vacation and you're not taking sales calls, you're not gonna make money. You have no leverage. You don't have the ability to remove yourself and still make money. And so a lot of people that are new to the space normally have a lot of time and not a lot of money. And so the way they're thinking through it is, I'm just gonna trade all my time so I can get money back. But it's really a flawed argument. I was at Best Buy today, and I'm a bit of a sneaker collector. I've collected shoes throughout the years. Now I'm more simple. I wear the Billionaire loafers now, the Laura Piana summer walks, which I think are a bit overhyped, to be quite honest, but they're nice, they're okay. But there's a guy at Best Buy who was ringing me up today, and he was wearing a pair of Dior shoes. And I just looked at it and I was like, dude, those shoes are like $1,200. So you probably ended up trading about 60 hours of your time to buy those shoes. Not a very good trade. I would much rather have 60 hours of my time to go make money or to go do whatever it is I want to do than have a pair of sneakers. But realistically, the only way you're not trading time for money or possessions is by building leverage. All the greatest entrepreneurs in the world have figured this out. This is why they have all these photos of Jeff Bezos on his yacht, you know, all like ripped, and he's got like baby oil all over him. They're weird photos, by the way. But everybody makes fun of these photos, but he's figured out how to create leverage. And so he can be oiled up on the yacht all he wants to be, and he's still making money. He's created leverage, and most people just can't do that. And so if you look at the richest people on earth, they have all the money in the world. They have all the possessions that money can buy. What are they all trying to do? They're all spending money to get their time back. They're flying on private jets. They're hiring drivers. They're hiring chefs and maids and house managers. And they're literally just buying back their time. When I started this business that I'm working on now, I brought on a personal assistant the day that I started. Why? Well, I don't want to spend 20 hours of my week coordinating my life. I am willing to pay to get that time back. But when you're new to the space, you don't have a lot of money, you likely have a lot of time, you're just like, I'll trade my time for money. But it's a flawed way of thinking. I'll give you another example. In 2023, I had some Shopify stores, and I had a partner on the Shopify stores, and we had a few brands that made a bit of money. We had one store that was doing like $40,000 a month. And I realized that the operator that I had running the store, my business partner, was genuinely spending all of his time researching products, running ads, creating ads. And I realized this is not a very high leverage business, because you can't really train someone on how to scout products or run ads or do all these things, because hey, they'll just end up doing it themselves. And this is why I fell in love with building an agency. I'll tell you a little story. We were really consistently around 50K a month when I didn't understand the concept of leverage. And as soon as I understood this concept, I brought on a closer, I spent more money on ads, and I made $120,000 the next month. I literally grew $70,000 MRR in 1 month when I figured out this concept of leverage. Because I said, look, I can sit here and work myself to the bone, or I can bring on a closer, train them, and then just spend more money on ads and end up making a lot more money while working a lot less. And this is why I'm such a big fan of agency, is because agency is really one of the only business models on the planet that you can do this. And if you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it subliminally talks about this message the entire book, right? That you're trying to build leverage. You're trying to build businesses that you own. And a lot of people are building businesses that own them. Paul? Can you hear me, bro? What's his deal?
What's up?
What'd you get headphones for? What'd you get earplugs for?
So, I got earplugs because you're so fucking loud on calls, dude.
Let me just fucking say, Paul is the one that wanted to put all the fucking desks in the same office.
That is true. I thought it'd be cute. All of us working together in the same place.
And I remember his words verbatim was, I know we'll all be doing calls at the same time, but it's no big deal. And if you're in a vehicle right now and you're trading money for time, your goal should be to stop doing that as soon as humanly possible if you want to actually make money. I know a lot of people that have done well in crypto, and almost all of them are spending all of their time researching coins, on Twitter, studying charts, looking at the markets. Crypto owns them. And I actually would rather make less money and invest less time than make more money and invest more time. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. If you're making $500,000 a year, as an example, which might sound like a massive figure to you watch this video. So let's say if you're making $100,000 a year, there's not a huge difference in making $200,000 a year, right? Now, it depends where you live in the world, of course. There's a lot of variables. But I can tell you right now, if you're a young man watching this video, which most of the people that watch these videos are young men, you would rather work 15 hours a week and make $100,000 a year than work 80 hours a week and make $250,000 a year. Because when you have your time back, you can now go focus on higher leverage, more money making activities. And this is another concept that people don't understand. You can stack businesses if you have time. You look at the people that have started tons of successful businesses. Well, they paid to get their time back. They hired an operator inside of one business to run that business and grow it. That's leverage. And then they go and start the next thing, and they just do it again and again and again and again. And people wonder why some entrepreneurs can go out and start 50 businesses and other entrepreneurs can't. Well, it's because some have figured out this idea of leverage and others haven't. I've met a lot of really talented entrepreneurs, and this is the one thing that they all understand more than anyone. I've met a lot of people who, if you say, I'll give you $5,000 for an hour of your time, to do a coaching call with me, they just won't do it. Because they understand this concept of leverage. They understand that if they have their time back, they can make a lot more money than trading money for time. And so if you're currently in a position where you're trading money for time, I'm not trying to beat up on you, but I'm just telling you, if you continue to do that, you're gonna work until you die, as Warren Buffett said. And so you need to be in a vehicle where you can put a little bit in and make a ton out. Small inputs, high outputs. You don't want a vehicle where your inputs are directly correlated to your outputs. We go back to a high ticket closer for a minute. There's high ticket closers out there that are making $30,000, $40,000 a month, $50,000 a month. And a lot of it comes down to what are they actually selling? But most of the time, those high ticket closers, in order to make $40,000 a month, are taking 40, 50, 60 calls a week and burning themselves out. And so the way that I think about this is you kind of have 3 levels. Level 1 is selling someone else's products or services. And I've met many people who have made good money doing it. Level 2 is selling your own products or services. If you're an agency owner and you're selling your own products or services, that's a level above selling someone else's. Level 3 is training someone to sell your stuff. That's where you build leverage. When you can have a business or a vehicle that pays you without you physically doing work, that is the best path to wealth. And that's true leverage. And leverage, again, is the key to unlock everything that you're looking for in life. Time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom. I've had times in my life where I haven't had this and I didn't understand this. And I've had times where I really did. I'll give a good example. In 2021, I went on a vacation with my girlfriend at the time, and we rented this nice house. We went to Florida. It's funny, I live in Florida now, but we went on this nice vacation, rented this beautiful house, and I literally worked the entire trip. So yeah, technically I had location freedom, but I didn't have the freedom to enjoy the location, which is a hamster wheel that a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in. And this was before I understood that concept of leverage. I'm banging sales calls and banging team calls this whole week, and I'm supposed to be on this nice vacation with my girlfriend again at the time, and I'm not being able to enjoy any of it because I hadn't figured out this concept of leverage. If you're in a vehicle right now where you're trading your time for money, you are in the wrong vehicle, and you need to leverage the capital that you're making from that vehicle to invest into a vehicle where you can stop doing that. And that's why, this super nice gentleman who is wearing the Dior shoes at Best Buy is making a common financial mistake, because you should be taking that excess cash flow that you have and investing it into a vehicle that's going to pay you. And I don't mean everyone's going to go out and make $50,000, $100,000 per month. Even if you can figure out a way to just make 10 grand a month or just make 15 grand a month and not be trading your time for that money, I promise you, you will be in the best headspace that you have ever been in. And I can speak from personal experience here. There's been a lot of times where I've made tons of money, like egregious amounts of money to the average person, especially when you look at the age that I was, where I was just trading all of my time for it. And you get burnt out. Eventually you hit the wall and you're like, man, I have money now, but I don't have any time. I can't even enjoy the money that I'm making. There's so many people that are walking the streets of Manhattan right now who are investment bankers, who have so much money. They have millions of dollars in the bank, and they can't enjoy any of it because they have to go into Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or wherever and be chained to that desk for 80 hours a week. And I promise you, even if you're making a tenth of what they're making and you don't have to be chained to that desk, you're gonna be a lot happier. Because again, having more money is marginal to some extent, right? Once you kind of break free, once you're making good income, once your bills are paid, once you can invest, once you don't have any debt, once you have the things that you want in life, it's only a marginal gain. And so you would rather be looking for those opportunities where you can build leverage. This is why people love real estate investing. It's really one of the most pure forms of leverage. It's a vehicle where you buy the house, put a tenant in the house, they pay you month over month, and you don't really have to do anything. That's true leverage, and that's what you're trying to build. But for most of you watching this video, you can't do that. You can't just go buy a house or 10 houses or 15 houses. And even if you only have one house, a lot of times you don't make that much money. And so what you need to build is a business where you can build that same leverage. And my belief, speaking from hundreds of people that I've met, thousands of people that I've coached, and my own personal experience, is that an agency is the best vehicle to do that, especially if you're a beginner. And my goal here is not to pitch you on why agency is the best business model. My goal here is to tell you that you need to build leverage. And in whatever vehicle you build that leverage in, good on you. But if you're looking for that vehicle, then you should build an agency. And lucky for you, I've made a 24-minute training so you can understand step by step how to build an agency, and most importantly, how to build the agency in the right way, because just because you have an agency doesn't mean you have leverage. You have to build it correctly. And building it correctly is the most important thing, because I've met tons of agency owners that make $100,000 a month, but are tied to the desk, and they have no better leverage than the guy working at Best Buy. And so you have to build your agency in the correct way, and you have to build it in the beginning stages the correct way if you want to build that leverage. And again, I've created a 24-minute training for you to understand how you can build an agency as a beginner, going from $0 to $30,000 per month. This isn't some training where you have to put in your info and you have to put in your name, email, and phone number and all these sort of things. It's completely free. It's on my YouTube channel. It's going to be in the description below. You can click over and watch that video for absolutely free. Again, there's no paywall. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to put your email in, your phone number, none of that stuff. You just click in the description below, watch the video. It's 100% free. It's 24 minutes. It's not very long. And it's going to show you step by step how to build a marketing agency and how to do it in the proper way. So you can, again, build that leverage that you so desperately need if you want to build wealth. What are you going to do now? You're going to go watch the 24-minute video on how to create an agency and how to go from $0 to $30K a month and how to do it in the proper way so you can build leverage. And also, if you're new here, throw me a subscription. I post videos like this every single week. I hope you enjoy them, and I hope to see you in the next one. My name's John. I'll see you soon. Love you lots.